We're good. We're set. I have audio. I'm not fucking this one up. not fucking this one up, ladies and gentlemen. Believe it or not, I've
That's good.
I've learned my lesson over the last
How many years?
100 almost 180.
Oh,
180 fucking episodes, somewhere around there. It's close
Something
to that.
like that.
Yeah, it's somewhere around there. Somewhere in that general vicinity.
I'm
Somehow.
impressed.
Yeah, right? Somehow we've gotten this far and not burned ourselves the fuck out. For those of you who are not aware of who that sultry voice is, it's a very special guest this week. Many of you might not remember the early days of this show, back when we were young, bleary-eyed, and optimistic, especially CD.
Oh yeah,
Especially me, right?
bursting with energy.
Optimism, all that good stuff. We were incredibly optimistic and foolish. That is none other than an old co-host of ours, Fernando. He's back for this episode. Thank you for joining us, sir. It's been
Welcome.
It's been a while.
holy
A
shit.
few days.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a
Jesus.
Yep. How are you guys
Jeez.
doing?
Geez, it's been a creative roller coaster, I think, for this show, man. It's
I mean, I like what you guys did with the place.
yeah, well, fresh new coat of paint, knocked down a few walls.
Yep. Well, as an RPG lover, I'm a huge fan.
I love it. Yeah, oh, the name? Oh yeah, no, that was I fear now that caffeinated banter will be used by somebody else. I fear that's gonna actually happen.
I
And
wouldn't
be
I would not be surprised.
It was a great name. No, it was a fantastic name. I stand by that. I think it was a fantastic name. The name was not the issue. I mean, the name, as far as it being a good name for a show, was not the issue.
Yeah.
That was never the problem. There were a variety of other problems I had with the name, but the name itself, just being a great name for a show, it was fantastic. Wouldn't trade it for the world. If I could go back and do that shit like 3 different times all over again, I'd still pick that name every single fucking time. Every time. Wouldn't trade the creative thought process for that name if I had the chance. Wouldn't do it. Wouldn't change it. And then I would inevitably get 135 episodes into that show and then change the name to this. So, creatively, I'd still end up here. That's how it would be. It would just take me longer to get here, which is...
All those multiverses would take you to the same spot.
Yeah, yeah. If you had like 16 different multiversal versions of me, we'd all end up in the same location. We would just...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Kang problem, right? Inevitably, every Kang becomes evil. It doesn't matter. They all become evil, every single one of them. So inevitably, I'm going to run into one of my versions of myself. And he's going to be like, dude, listen. Listen. I'm you. But you're going to become me someday.
It's a ride.
Yeah. Enjoy the ride, asshole. It's about to get rough. It's about to get rough. So, Fernando, for those of the audience who don't know much about you, why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself?
Well, gosh, I suck at this sort of thing.
I mean, you don't have to go into your whole life story here, my dude. Just
I don't. Oh man. So when I was a kid, no, I've been reviewing for about 10 years off and on. You may have seen me on a couple of sites here and there. I kind of bounce around. I apparently have commitment issues. Why I'm single. But no, honestly, I've just been writing reviews, keeping myself busy, listening to the podcast. A
You
little
know,
plug, guys.
you bring up reviewing, and I want to go back to a conversation we had about reviewing all those years ago.
Yes. Oh, I
You know,
remember it fondly.
we're gonna go back to a conversation. So back then, I said that I said the part about reviewing I could never do was finishing a game in a time frame. Remember? That was specifically the thing I thought I had a problem with. Well,
Yep.
upon further thinking about it, I think that would be the easy part for me now.
Okay.
I think with hindsight now, in my current situation, finishing a game in a time frame, I could probably do. That's not the thing that these days scares the shit out of me. It's the compiling my thoughts onto paper and hoping it's coherent. I feel like
Yep.
that would be the problem for me.
Yep. 100%. It's
Like
a problem.
what I already do is like kind of that though, because by the end of a game I already have an opinion, right? Like whenever I do a playthrough, within the first like 5 to 6 episodes, I already know roughly how I feel about it. You know, like maybe the game will surprise me, maybe it won't, but by like 5, 6,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? By the first like 5 to 10 hours, I kind of already know. You know what I mean? You get
Yeah,
the
yeah.
gist.
Yeah, you have
So
a general idea of like how the game is. Gameplay doesn't really change much. The only thing
mm-mm.
that really changes is story. Like you alluded to, it might throw a curveball that's really surprising.
Yeah.
So that sort of thing will change. But as far as gameplay mechanics go, you're gonna have a general idea a couple of hours in.
Unless you're near Automata, then
Oh, dude, dude. Okay, I'm actually writing Near Automata right now because I got a late code for it, and I've been sitting on it for 2 days. Like I don't know what to say. It's
oh,
so hard to just figure out like what do I want to say? How do I want to tackle it? Because there's so much to write about.
you know, it's funny you say that. If you go back and look at like the IGN review of Nier Automata when it came out initially on like PS4 and shit, that
Mhm.
review is unique for me because that review only reviews the game under the guise of story A.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that review only reviews the game under the context of story A. Think about that for a second.
Which you know what? I
So
gotta.
that's what, about 10% of the game?
Yeah.
it's it's surprisingly like okay, so story A is a decent chunk of gameplay, right? Like let's not sell it short. But when you're looking at story A in the context of the entire story of Nier Automata, it is not a lot. It's
No.
you're looking at I always like to say Nier Automata it's a story told from three perspectives, and story A's perspective is such a small scope of what you're dealing with, of like what the game is trying to explain to you, that I've been really surprised that IGN did that review that way, right? And Fernando, you'll love this. So when Replicant came out, uh,
Oh,
yeah, when Replicant came out, would you believe me if I told you that IGN actually marked the game down for its multiple like playthroughs?
are you what?
Yeah,
What?
no, it was a negative. That was a negative.
Oh my!
They,
This is.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
this is
that.
the.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just gonna say this is Pokemon all over again. Too much.
So much story.
Like, come on, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
no, they marked Near Replicant down for its multiple playthroughs necessary to get the full story, which to me is like ridiculous because y'all didn't even approach that shit with Automata. You didn't even mention multiple playthroughs. You just reviewed story A and thought you were done.
That's that
It almost seems
actually...
to be out of spite.
I'm petty, but I wouldn't put it by them. Like I wouldn't rule it out.
Well, I guess you could argue different reviewers, different perspectives, but it's just weird. Like, you're going into a Yoko Taro game. Like, you know what you're signing up for.
I would think. I feel like you would know that you're not getting a traditional experience. Like you're not... Yeah.
Oh, it's... no. That makes me... I loved Replicant. I thought it was a phenomenal game. And the music... That music is something special.
So, I don't want to spoil something for CD if he ever chooses to play Automata. But there's something I wanted to add, something I want to bring up to Ferni. So, Ferni, listen. Okay. An Automata story, like the last leg of the last story, right?
Yes.
The twins are like fucked up. And as this heartbreaking scene is taking place, okay? This happened in my playthrough. It pulled me out of the game so fucking fast. As this scene is taking place, all you hear in the background is Emil's fucking car blazing the fuck by.
What the fuck?
Blaring his fucking music. All you can hear is Emil's car just going 275 miles an hour with his music blaring in the background. It is the most take you out the moment of a video game of all time. And I fucking love it.
When you hear that song, you'll understand completely. Like, everything else is very epic sounding, very emotional. You got the chaos language, and then you have Emil's song.
Yeah, you have fucking Emil's music to his fucking buggy.
Oh man,
this fucking child that's nothing more than a head.
Yeah,
is going 275 miles per hour, blaring his music out of his speakers.
He just keeps rolling.
He really does, because it's so it was such a random take you out the moment for a video game for me. Because I'm like, man, this is hitting me hard. And then you hear as he's blaring the fuck by. I'm like, thanks, Emil. Appreciate you. Deal with your ass later.
That's as if some heavy moment in Final Fantasy 15 would be going on, and you hear in the background, "That's it! I found a new recipe."
Oh God, I love you, Ignis. I really do. I love you so much.
Oh God.
Anyways, Fernando, on this show, we always start our show off with a lovely little segment called "What Are We Playing?" or what have we been playing? It's a little
okay.
Yeah, we have believe it or not, we have a structure these days. You wouldn't know it because I'm in charge, but we do. I'll be honest with you, CD, fellas. This week has been Fallout 3 for me. Lots of Fallout 3.
Really?
Yeah, I've been playing it on the Steam Deck as of late. So,
jealous.
Yeah, it's been an experience. So there's this little character in Fallout 3 by the name of Moira. You've probably heard of her.
Okay.
And she has this thing called the survival guide that you have to help her with, where she sends you on jobs. And one of them is like, get into like the supermarket and bring back food and bring back medicine. And I'm like, okay, yeah. No, I've done this before, so I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to fight my way through this shit, aren't I? And then by the time I'm done, I end up with like a laser pistol with like almost 200 ammo, and I'm like, well, I guess I have my new weapon now. Wasn't planning on using energy weapons in this playthrough. If you're just gonna throw me 200 ammo, time to
Might
vaporize
as
some
well.
fuckers. Another one is like, go irradiate yourself. She wants to document the effects of radiation sickness.
She would have just have to stick around until the original ending.
Yeah. I feel like she wouldn't have to work that hard, but she asked you to do it. So you get bonus points if you like really irradiate yourself. And of course, I'm trying to get the best outcome for this. So, 600 rads of radiation later, and she makes the joke, "Oh, you're basically glowing." Yeah, funny. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
no. Fallout 3's been great. I dig it. It's a very different experience playing it on a handheld, but it beats me trying to break out my 360.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? The 360 handheld, put a display on it.
Pretty sure those exist. Wouldn't doubt it.
Probably.
Sure they.
Like as a luggage that you open up and then you can play it like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
I'm sure they exist. So yeah, that's been a lot of what I've been doing this week. Aside from like my normal shit that I work on, it was like Fallout 3. Like almost every night, by the time I finish editing a video, I'd be like, I'm just gonna play some Fallout 3 for a few hours. So
No, I've yet to play Fallout 3.
You've not really?
I've heard about it. I've heard, some things that happen in the game. Never played it myself.
Yeah, you should. I mean, I'd say Fallout 3 or New Vegas. You could take your pick. I think they're both.
Those are the best ones.
Yeah, okay. Like, depends, like, they're the ones I usually recommend. I mean, 4 exists, but...
That's the best you can say about it.
Yeah, 4 exists.
So,
Or
4,
better than 76, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. 4 exists.
well, that's something.
Yeah, so that's all. That's
Not exactly
that's
a high
really,
bar, but yeah.
That's the bar I'm setting. That's what you're getting from me this week, ladies and gentlemen. Thinking Fernando.
All right, me. Well, as I mentioned, I'm writing Nier Automata. So I played that one. I do have another game, 2 others for review. One I can actually speak about, embargo's over, which is not Legend, sorry, Labyrinth of Galeria. Don't know if you guys played Refrain. Labyrinth of Refrain.
Yes, the sequel to that. Right.
Which it's awesome. Honestly. This is a sneak peek. I haven't written it yet, but it's awesome. Go buy it. Go beat but it's an awesome game.
Damn.
I have another one. I can't really talk about it, but yeah. That's about it. But on the topic of Automata, play it. Everyone listening, play it.
play. You know, I'm not even gonna stop you on that recommendation. Like, I don't even think I have to put in like a asterisk next to it. Just play it.
It's amazing. Like the way that the story is structured, not even with just the multiple playthroughs, but it's so like you get the revelations, the way they come up, they're so subtle. But like once you pick them up, you're like, it blows your mind. It's incredible. Like it's hard to and this is why I'm taking so long writing my review. Because it's difficult to articulate or not spoil anything.
Can I mention the fact that you don't even see the title crawl and opening credits for the game till you complete story A and B?
Exactly.
The title crawl doesn't even happen till you've beaten the game twice. Then the title crawl happens. That blew
That's
my
quite the prologue.
Yeah, that blew my mind. I was like, cuz I've been digging it. And then I'm like, "You know what? This is awesome." And then the end of story B happens, and then the title crawl happens. I'm like, "Oh oh shit, the game's starting now." Shit.
What
We're actually playing the video game.
No, but it's amazing.
And it actually runs really well on Switch, believe it or
On
not.
Switch,
If you
yep, very
decide,
well optimized.
yeah, if you don't want to play it on you want to have your pick a console, you could pretty much play it anywhere. I think the PC version is actually better off than it was at launch. I think they've patched the PC version up to not
Yeah,
being
I think they gave it an upgrade.
Yeah,
to not
I'm pretty sure
being
that.
a mess. So
No, like if you don't mind playing at 30 frames, which really I don't mind it too much, and obviously resolution, the graphical fidelity, it takes a hit, but it doesn't look that bad.
if you're playing in handheld,
Like-
I don't think it's as bad. I think handheld
No,
holds up
it's
much
not.
better than docked.
Oh yeah, if you play your Switch docked only, play the PS4 version without question. Go for the PS4 because one of the biggest advantages of Automata on Switch is the portability.
Yeah. All right,
So-
CD. Bases are loaded.
What are you up to?
Yeah. Well, during the week, not much because again, lots of work to do.
I feel.
But as we had the direct, there was a small title shadow dropped there.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of well-running Switch games,
Uh-huh.
Metroid Prime Remastered.
Oh, that indie. Yeah, I know about that indie.
I was mild.
Small
I
indie,
was-
hardly known.
I was like surprised that they dropped a remaster for Metroid Prime. That surprised me.
And considering the remastered title, it's quite extensive. It's not the usual, we up-res this thing and made it look a bit better. They pretty much reworked the graphics completely.
Yeah,
shit.
it's amazing what they've done.
Yeah, I think the only reason why they're calling it a remaster is because it's still the same game, it's the same story, the same levels, but pretty much everything else they worked on.
Yeah.
The effects, the water physics, it has a good frame rate, stable, and good resolution. Digital Foundry gave it, I think, a pretty much a steady 60 FPS.
Oh shit.
And yeah, I'd say that that's pretty accurate.
No, Nintendo did a great job. And the best
Yeah.
part, it's not full retail. It's $49.99. You can't.
$40.
It's just like
For us.
yeah, and it's crazy because for as much as I love Nintendo, whenever they release games or whatever, it's always full price.
Yeah, I would have expected this to be full price as well.
Can we?
Yeah.
Can we just, since you brought up the direct, since you
Mhm.
brought it up, I don't feel
Okay.
bad now saying this now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just throw this out there. What's our feelings about the new Zelda game being 70? How are we feeling about that? I'm not like I only buy RPGs, so I probably wasn't gonna get it regardless. But I kind of want to know how y'all feel. Like what y'all
Wasn't too surprised really.
It wasn't a surprise to you?
that.
Didn't shock you?
Not all that much, no. Not
No.
really.
Oh.
Not with the rumors. Like the rumors were Sony and Microsoft were gonna up theirs by $10.
I
So
mean, they pretty much did with this generation already, so yeah.
Yeah, some games are.
Yeah,
So-
and some games are also, I mean, Forspoken. Great great title for
Yeah,
a great price, right?
great use for that extra $10 there, Square.
Mhm.
Good
No, Forspoken is just Nier. It's just a poor man's Nier. I'm
Great.
sorry. You got the
Currently, it seems more like the poor man's version of another game that we're gonna talk about.
Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh, foreshadowing.
Ooh. I'm gonna lean back on that one. I don't know if I'm
Oh.
ready to touch that. Shit. Oof.
We
Yeah,
gotta.
I'm gonna keep it real. I
Mhm.
was surprised at the
Mhm.
semi surprised at the 70. I was more interested in the overall response, which
Mhm.
I need to stop going on the internet at all, honestly. I feel
Mhm.
like the internet is the worst possible place to gauge any kind of a response because there are
Mhm.
some garbage ass takes. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
all right. Y'all really just feeling yourself right now, so I'm gonna just step back and just mind my business. Clearly none of you
Mhm.
guys are offering me any takes here worth listening to,
Mm.
which this is the
Yeah.
internet, so I don't know what I was expecting, but I wanted to just throw
Mhm.
that out there and
Yeah.
see how you...
Personally, I'm gonna make it very dependent on how when we know more about the game, on
Mhm.
how that turns out. If I'm gonna get it early on, or if I'm gonna wait after Breath of the Wild, I'm
all
a
right,
bit iffy on that.
fair enough.
Okay. Honestly, see, I'm a fanboy. I'm gonna
Mhm.
pick it up regardless. I'll be there day one, but they have to justify the price hike.
Mhm.
Like they're using the same map. It looks like so. Like Hyrule's gonna be the same as what we
It's
played.
gonna be the same basis, but probably with quite a few changes.
Yeah, and then of course you got the sky platforms that you go
Mhm.
on. So I want to see how
Yeah.
extensive that's gonna be and everything.
Mhm.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Everything's shaping up to be. I think now I could be wrong because they did this
Mhm.
with Breath of the Wild, but it seems like maybe voice acting.
Hmm.
We heard Well, I don't know if it's Ganondorf, but
I mean, there's gonna be the basic voice acting in the cutscenes, sure, but I'm not
Probably.
so sure about in-game. Probably not
Yeah,
as much.
I'd be surprised.
Mhm.
Nintendo hasn't really been interested in messing with that aspect of the
Mhm.
formula for a lot of their
Yeah.
games. That seems to
What
be
I'm
one
more
of
interested
those
in
hard
there
sticking
is,
points.
yeah. What I'd be more interested is how extensive their vehicle stuff is gonna be.
oh yeah. I know what you mean.
Because I mean, they did start that with the expansion pass for Breath of the Wild with the motorcycle, but now they've shown what was it? One was like a car, and the other one was the floating platform, like a kind of a drone.
Mhm.
And depending on what they do there, that could be quite interesting. I do hope they manage to make something better than the standard weapon durability system they had.
All right, you know what? I might be crucified for this, but
Mhm.
I like the durability system. I thought it was a
It,
good.
in theory, it's a good thing, but over time, it just annoyed me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can
yeah.
see
It had
that.
too little to offer.
Yeah, I liked it because it forced me to try new weapons instead of
Sure.
just on Old Faithful. And then I got to play around with things and stuff. That's why I liked it.
Mhm.
But I
Sure.
understand.
In the regular areas, I see that working, but once you're up against the really difficult enemies and you have the Master Sword,
That's right. True.
it become
The
it
Master
shows
Sword.
the cracks. Absolutely.
Yeah, the Master Sword disappearing after so long did kind of confuse me. Cause I was like, I have to charge my Master Sword since when?
Yeah.
I've played Ocarina of Time. This is the sword of evil's bane. I should be one-shotting everything with this damn thing. Why do I need to recharge it?
Yeah.
Again,
No.
just me, just throwing it out
No.
there.
I agree. Master Sword should have been like, it shouldn't have been tied to the durability system.
Mhm.
Should be charging. It's a Master Sword.
Yeah.
Sword. You should have been able.
Mhm.
Its full power no matter what.
Yeah, it shouldn't be tied to the durability. That's like I don't like durability systems in general don't bug me, right? Because I play MMOs where I have to repair my gear, so I feel like I'd be a hypocrite if I brought
Yeah,
up
but then you can repair them. Here they just disappear.
they just break. Your shit just
So
break.
yeah, that's
Yeah, see, that's the weird
not
thing,
enough.
right? Like durability doesn't bother me if I can just
Mhm.
go somewhere and repair my shit. But if you're just gonna like destroy my shit, then
Yeah.
that's a little uncomfortable.
In my opinion, if you're gonna do something like that, you also need to give me something else additionally, like repairing or crafting.
Yeah.
No.
Anyways,
I
sorry.
definitely
And
see both.
yeah. Mm-hmm. And just a quick note on Metroid Prime. I've so far played it up to, let me check. I got myself the rockets back, obviously the morph ball, and just today the charge beam. Those three.
There are
I
some
am up again.
amazing lore entries, codec
Mhm.
entries in Metroid Prime. I don't want to spoil my favorite one because there's one in Metroid Prime that is
Mhm.
my absolute favorite lore entry of any video game. When you get to it, you will know
Mhm.
because you're going to read it and go, "Oh, that's dark, but also fucking hilarious."
All right. Looking forward to it.
See, now
I've
I
been
gotta go.
scanning quite a few things, so
You'll
I
know.
hope I don't miss that one.
Yeah, you hope you don't. If you get to the point where you missed it, I'll just tell you what it is.
All right.
I'll tell you what it is. But, ladies and gentlemen, this week has been an interesting week, and we're gonna start this show off with how did I name this segment? One second, let me make sure I know how I named this fucking segment. Ah, yes, that's how I named this segment. Okay, so a little bit of background here. Apparently, Hogwarts had a early release period because this game was all over Twitch well before the game came
Yep.
out, and I was fucking confused because I would go on
3
fucking.
days due
I
to
would
the
go
deluxe
on
edition.
Steam to look at the reviews, and there's no reviews, and the game's not out yet. So I was hella confused.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
oh dear, oh my, I've seen some polarizing video games in my life on this show. Gotta be honest, Hogwarts wasn't expecting the wizard game to be the one that broke the fucking internet, but I've guessed wrong in the past.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
it's
gonna-
not the first time we covered controversy around the game.
Yeah. So this week overall has been a
Interesting.
yeah, very interesting. From well, you know what? Yeah, no. I'm gonna start with IGN first. I want to talk about this one first. Okay, so
Alright.
I want to talk about reviews. So like reviews have come in a couple different flavors for me, right? There's Game Ranks, a site, YouTube channel I enjoy, where they do what's called Before You Buy. To his credit, he didn't mention J.K. Rowling. He talked about the game. It was about the game. I watched the whole thing because I wanted to see if Jake Baldino was going to go there or not. He just talked about the game the entire time. And I'm like, fair. Okay. All right. No editorializing. You talked about the game. You had your gripes with the game. That's it.
Alright.
Fair.
Yep.
Fair. Okay. You set the tone, and I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe this game, maybe all this hubbubaloo is gonna just be no big deal. Well, I've been wrong before. So then IGN's review comes out,
Mhm.
Well, I've watched it, but I'm gonna refer to a summarized version of this review. Uh, as far as the points that they made, the game barely works. Inventory can hold 4 items. There are 2 enemy types. The story and world building make no sense. The token insert about J.K. Rowling and her politics. But I love Harry Potter, 9 out of 10. um, you know,
Was it a 9? I think was it an 8? I think.
You know what?
But it was a good grade anyway.
It was a good grade. I only think it was a 9 because Hard Drive dunked the fuck out of them. Hard Drive dunked the fuck out of them with review. This loaded gun pressed against my temple. This loaded gun pressed against my temple is flawed. 9 out of 10. And I'm like, oh shit. Oh, we're getting spicy. Okay. So like reviews have been split into 2 categories. And mostly really only 1 category, but we're gonna say 2 categories. The reviews about the game and reviews about J.K. Rowling.
Yep.
That's pretty much been where we've been these last few days, and the line in the sand has been drawn. I personally think this is ridiculous. You're not called to give a political counter. You're hired to talk about a fucking video game. But what the fuck do I know?
You're welcome to do that in a separate editorial.
Yeah, of course, of course.
You're free to do that. Perfectly fine.
But if your review is of
review the game.
Yeah, if your review is of Hogwarts Legacy, I'm expecting you to review Hogwarts Legacy. Sir or madam.
If there would be a cameo by Rowling in there or something else like that, sure, that would be fair. Then you mention her and but everything else.
So, okay, like the review's fine, right? Like cool. I mean, yeah, I could mention the gamer being a dumpster fire of a website.
Yeah, not reviewing it, but also claiming to take the hit for it, because they don't do reviews or guides for it. But on the other hand, they write how many clickbait articles about?
Oh, they write. Oh my god. Oh my god.
No, there's no hit there. No.
Yeah.
You're trying to make bank on that, no matter what.
You're not gonna write a review, but you are going to milk the fuck out of this fucking video game that you're not gonna review. Okay, so like, okay, fine. Reviews being reviews, that's fine. But then something happened along with this week that made me go, oh, so we're just straight up terrorizing motherfuckers now with this shit, ain't we? The wholesome the girlfriend reviews channel was streaming Hogwarts Legacy.
Quick question in between. Are we gonna get to that review as well?
Which review? I wasn't. I only was
Wired.
Yes.
The Wired one.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot about that.
Because I think that's a special. That's a special category of review.
I forgot. That's my fault. I forgot about that one. Yikes.
Yeah.
So
even calling it special is, I think, yeah.
Honestly, I have a lot of opinions. A lot.
I mean, I'm listening. You can, if you want to have your hot take, you could have your hot take or mild take. It's up to you.
Well, honestly, so I'd never played Hogwarts Legacy. But I will say, what I've heard about that game, about, when you're doing character creation, it has a whole bunch of trans options. So you can be a trans character in that game if you want, which I think is great and very inclusive. And then in that same breath, there's a character that's trans in the game itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not outright said, it's not highlighted, which I kind of
Yeah.
like.
It's a trans character that's actually well written.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
believe it or not.
it's not highlighted. It's not like, hey, I'm trans. Hi, how are you? No, she's done in a way where she's normalized.
Mm-hmm.
She's just part of society.
Mm-hmm.
She,
If you listen to the whole dialogue, you can notice that they're alluding to it. It's
Yeah.
definitely written like that in
definitely,
a good way.
yeah, and she doesn't. It's not put out there for you to be like, oh, well, here's a point for this game for being inclusive. No, they're doing it because
Mm-hmm.
they want to include every gamer.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great. So honestly, hats off for that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't agree with what J.K. Rowling does. Fuck her, honestly. But this is about a game. We should look at the game.
Mm-hmm.
We should, nothing else. Look at the game. That's why I don't agree with The Wire and how they went about. Because to me, that just comes off as virtue signaling.
Yeah,
Like,
because it's extremely clear that they haven't actually played the game.
yeah, they're like, oh, hey, I'm over here and I agree with the mob, like us.
Mhm.
No, review the game.
Yeah.
If you think
Yeah,
that the game
you're
sucks,
right. You're right. But when the act of like purchasing the game is demonized,
Mm-hmm.
when the
Would-
act of like even engaging with the game on its own is seen as like a what's the word? I can't think of the word I want to use for this. Like a
Technically a sin.
justifying J.K. Rowling's views, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
as much as I disagree with it, because
Mm-hmm.
when the
Because for that, they also use one of her quotes, J.K. Rowling's quotes, and misapply it to make it fit the accusation.
Cool.
well, I don't.
Yeah, because she essentially said at some point about how she feels about losing an audience because of her views. She was essentially saying, "I cry all the way to the bank."
Yeah,
would
Say, "Yeah, I don't really care because I got money," and she didn't say the people that buy my stuff agree with me. She didn't say that. That's just pulled out of thin air.
that's and honestly,
Mm-hmm.
guys, girls, everyone listening, everything that you love, Twitter, iPhone, whatever, there's gross stuff going on in the background. I mean, there's
bruh.
if boycotted everything with something, and we would not be doing anything. We would be sitting down, twiddling our thumbs, because no one would want to support anything.
Bruh, I have made this argument for years about how 9 times out of 10 people won't do the right thing. I'm like okay, great example, right? So like in America, I don't know about other countries if this is as much of a talking point, but in America, people make a big deal out of like clothing being made by child labor, right? But at this point, everybody knows that like the majority of clothing that is made is probably made by kids. And here's the crazy part. When you bring this up, right? I'm like, cool. You don't like child labor. They're like, yeah, of course, it's terrible. I'm like, fantastic. So you won't buy that anymore. And they're like, kinda. It's like an iPhone. Come on, dude. We've all heard stories about Chinese factories having fucking suicide nets outside the fucking windows. Like, it's a fucking madhouse in there. But I don't see the crowd of people lining up at the fucking iPhone store thinking twice before they buy the newest piece of tech. Like,
you see them lining up. Yeah. You just don't see them thinking about it.
Yeah.
They're picking and choosing. I've said this in private, but I'll say it here. This is about clout. People want clout.
Yeah, the people that are loud, they're doing slacktivism. Simple as.
Yeah, and it's just don't politicize the game.
Can I add some levity to this conversation with a thought I had last night?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, it might be a little tasteless for me to do this, CD, but I promise you're gonna laugh. So someone I know was like, yeah, they have a token trans character in Hogwarts. And I'm like, you know what? As the resident black guy, I'm happy to see that we are no longer the only token motherfuckers in this building anymore. Thank you! Finally! Trans people, welcome! You are now token, and we exist by default. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Took us 100 years to get here, baby. But we're here now. And that joke has either been hilarious or it has upset people greatly.
Well, probably both.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Some people thought it was tasteless.
No, funny.
I don't think I think if you can't laugh at a situation, then you might not be built for that situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, like politicizing a video game is weird to me because like I mentioned this in the last show where I'm like, J.K. Rowling ain't even like connected to the game. Now I've heard people tell me things about the game. And again, I haven't played it. I've barely watched anything of it. So I don't really like people like, oh, the game has anti-Semitic shit in it or whatever. Okay. I don't know. I'm not saying I even know. I'm just telling you what I've heard. I don't know. I'm not picking a side here.
I haven't played the game either, but what I've heard, some people are apparently connecting the goblins to Jews.
Yes,
and all I gotta say is what I heard from someone that's Jewish. That's essentially says, if you connect those with their characteristics and their looks to Jews, you're anti-Semitic.
Bro, that's no different than every time I hear people say that orcs are an analogy for black people, and I'm just like, bro, you got me fucked up. You got me fucked up. Got me absolutely fucked up.
Oh my god.
If you want me to cite my sources here, Fernie, about that orcs thing, I will gladly send you the citations.
Please.
I will gladly send you the citations.
Extra credits was only one of many.
Yeah.
Did that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can't. Like, how can someone...
Oh, sorry.
No.
Oh, how can someone say that? Easy, when they don't give a shit. When you don't care. That's how you say it.
That's what I mean about cloud. Like, people are going to grab onto whatever they hear other people saying, and they're going to run with it. Even if they don't know why they're saying it particularly. They're just going to say it because it's the good thing to say.
Yep.
Just like with Hogwarts. I don't think Hogwarts is a bad game by everything that I've heard. I love the trans character in it. I love that it allows you to make a trans character. Avalanche, the studio that developed it, denounced J.K. Rowling and fuck her and her opinions. This is about a game at the end of the day. And honestly, judge it. If you don't like the game, cool, but don't
Yeah,
give me any.
fantastic.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But like some of the takes that I've heard, like the graphical integrity of it is PS2, PS3 level.
Bruh, every time
what the
I hear
Wire, yeah, what the
I
Wired
hear that
review
take,
stated. Graphics feel like they're a couple generations behind. What? Have you actually seen the game and not just watched a trailer by YouTube on YouTube by setting the quality to the lowest setting?
she
Like-
looked at a low quality screenshot through a phone made 2002.
Yeah, something like that.
Those kind of takes I don't agree with. 'Cause
Mhm.
taking the piss at that point.
Yeah, because it's goddamn obvious that it's not the case.
But
You
yeah,
just gotta have a look at the screenshots.
but yeah, I'm gonna wrap up the Hogwarts section of this show
Mhm.
with
Yeah.
the
With
last
the-
thing that happened.
Huh?
With one of the last things that happened. So streamers,
Hmm?
look, I'm gonna say it. I think every streamer had to make that decision on some level.
Yeah.
Do I stream the game or do I not? And you know what? I'm gonna keep it real with you. I can't fault a single fucking one of them, right? Now, what I will say is, though, I think it's a little fucked up. Because, like, a lot of other streamers, they had problems with their stream, with people, like, raiding their stream and shit, but they handled that shit. Unfortunately, Girlfriend Reviews channel, didn't go over
Yeah.
all that well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She was being called a turf for banning people giving her shit for playing the game, and the stream ended early because of bullying. So, one,
Yeah.
fuck bullies. Two, fuck you for even showing up to my stream just to make fun of me, nigga. Like, what? Like, bro, go somewhere else, dog. You don't like the game? Fuck you. What you giving her shit for? Like,
I don't agree with that.
yeah, like y'all gonna show up to my stream and then call me names over a fucking video game? Okay, you really want to go there?
If you feel the need to harass people for streaming the game, you're just a grade school class bully.
Yeah, you're not.
Nothing else. You're not one of the good guys.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's wrong to do. Like
But this is like part and parcel to the whole politicizing even owning the fucking video game. Like,
Yeah.
'cause this isn't about like this isn't just about like, oh, the game's bad. If the game was like weird or bad or had like weird shit in it and people were making a big deal, fine. But we've taken this so far that the act of buying it is enough for you to
Or
get
if
shit.
the developer themselves had done something bad, like, oh, I don't know, Activision Blizzard. So where's the great protests against games from them? Like Overwatch 2 and stuff like that?
Call of Duty.
Nowhere to be seen. Yeah, Call of Duty. Yeah.
That's a big one. It's in people. They love the game. No one talks about what Bobby Kotick has done. No one talks culture.
I mean, they do talk about that, but they don't seem to be all that pressed in terms of people buying and supporting and streaming the games.
Yeah.
So
like Red Dead Redemption 2, when Jason Schreier dropped that giant piece about the crunch culture, but told people to still buy the game because you shouldn't punish the fucking workers. It's like, my guy, you can't have it both ways. You can't sit here and claim to be championing the fucking worker and then still put money in the pockets of the motherfuckers abusing the fucking workers. That's not how this works. You don't get both ways. All right?
Yeah.
You can't. That's not how life, that's not how existence works. I'm sorry. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah. And just as one more point to the whole thing, where I then take my popcorn and eat it with pleasure is when I see that the game, for one, managed to beat out every other game on Twitch in terms of viewer count, reaching over 1.2 million viewers, which is, I think, pretty much the record on Twitch. And on the other hand, the current player count is around 880,000 on Steam alone.
Yeah, I have heard some copium about those numbers on Steam, though. Because
Mhm.
people have been telling
really?
me the game has been getting positively review bombed by people.
I don't care about the reviews. I'm
Oh.
talking about current active players.
Oh, just play. Oh, shit.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. Just the player counts.
Mhm.
Fuck. I hadn't
Yep.
thought about. Yeah, that would be the more honest way to do it, wouldn't it? Look at player counts, because you can't deny how many people are playing it.
Yeah, and that's not the peak from when it was in in pre-sales early access.
Mm.
There it was around, I think, 400,000, something like that.
Yep.
This peak is from 20 minutes ago.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh, we here now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, we here now.
Yep. Have you seen the sale? Like somewhere around 11 million.
Overall, yeah, I'm not sure if we have definitive numbers there yet, but it's probably quite high.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gonna be honest, you're the moralizing here for not buying the game really panned out for you, didn't it, buddies?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
huge success.
Yeah, really turns out you might have been doing some low-key advertising by telling people not to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like people, the game's good. I'm sorry, but the game is good. By all accounts, it's a fun game. Like people I know personally on Facebook, on whatever, they're all just raving about it. They all love the game. And, I have a couple of people who are boycotting the game. That's great. I mean, that's their choice.
Their choice?
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of them have even taken that money and just donated it, which I think is awesome.
Yeah,
perfectly
fantastic.
Fine.
Yeah,
donated for rights, which, by the way, are human rights. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah, if you want to donate that fucking money, do it. Fuck it.
Perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just as some streamers did that.
Exactly. If you're going to boycott the game, donate that money to trans. That's what I think people should do. Instead of just outright boycotting and not spending anything, donate it. Why not?
Why? Yeah. Like,
put some actual weight behind your words.
Yeah, but like my problem with this whole thing is like I've always kind of split boycotts into like two different like categories of boycotts, right? You have a personal boycott and you have a moral boycott, right? A personal boycott for me would be Blizzard. That is personal. I took that shit to myself and said, I'm uninstalling this fucking launcher, and if I can help it, I'm not giving you any of my money. Like, this is personal. I don't care if people do it. Fine. Fuck it. A moral boycott, like an actual true blue moral boycott. I'm going to give you an example of one that's legitimate for me, at least. A moral boycott is every single movie reviewer that didn't want to review Jeepers Creepers 3 because it came out that the director was an actual pedophile. Not like he was accused. He wasn't accused. He was an actual convicted pedophile. Like an actual convicted pedophile. Like, this wasn't like he said, she said shit. This was like actually on the record. That is a moral boycott. All right. I morally cannot review this movie because I cannot possibly give
not
him...
review, not buy, not anything.
Yeah, I refuse. All right.
Yep.
Personal boycott, Blizzard. Moral boycott, Jeepers Creepers. We can all agree those match, right? Like personal, moral. I don't really know how I feel about Hogwarts because I feel like Hogwarts, realistically, is kind of personal. I don't really. I feel like
that's that definitely doesn't really reach the moral.
I think it's a
Boycott.
personal boycott.
I don't think so, because it's by far not directly connected.
Yeah, like if J.K. Rowling was like on the creative team for the game, right, and she was at Avalanche Studios helping to create the game, then yeah, maybe I'd be like, okay, she's close enough to this. You might be able to claim a moral boycott. Fine.
Yeah.
All right. And I'd be willing to agree with you.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, for those of you, she's getting her royalty checks no matter what. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think y'all realize just how deep Harry Potter goes. So y'all acting like this game is the fucking thing that does it. This isn't like the boycott here is far bigger than just this game if you really want to hurt J.K. Rowling. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I think the IP has gotten by far bigger than her. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's my take. That's my feelings. When I split boycotts, I look at them as a personal boycott and a moral boycott.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think Hogwarts is a moral boycott. I don't think it is. I don't get the idea that it is, because if this was truly a moral issue, I feel like the response would be a lot more genuine.
Yeah.
From a lot of people, it wouldn't feel the way it does. You know, when movie reviewers were like, I'm not reviewing Jeepers Creepers 3 because the guy is actually a pedophile, convicted pedophile. I don't want to support him, and I don't want to support anything that he does. You know, yeah, fair, cool. Yeah, I'm not arguing with you on that one. Like, yeah, okay, cool.
Sense.
Fine. I don't really see much reason to argue with you on that one. But yeah, so I'm gonna wrap up the Hogwarts story with that. I think that's a reasonable place to stop the Hogwarts story.
I'd say so.
All right. I had this listed, and maybe I haven't been paying much attention, but I guess Ferni, you might be a little bit more knowledgeable about this next one, because I only recently remembered this game was even going to exist at some point, which is Atomic Heart.
Yes.
Now you were pretty vocal about this, because you were like, wait a minute, so we all really gonna focus on Hogwarts but not even acknowledge to some degree this
Atomic Heart.
Yeah.
Just, I have a lot of issues with Atomic Heart. A lot of issues. First of all, this is unsubstantiated. This is allegedly. Okay? I'm not saying this is certainty, but there are signs that they're connected to the Russian government. So I'm trying to pick my words here, but Mudfish Games, I believe that's who's developing, they did release a statement about the war that's going on right now. And it was very ambiguous. Whereas, other studios have been very straight to the point, like, we stand with Ukraine, that's it. Mudfish, they're just saying they're pro peace. They like peace. They don't want people killing each other. Okay.
Yeah, that's a pretty milquetoast response, but fair enough. Yeah, I like when people don't die too, preferably.
And then when you look at the whole Russian propaganda machine, in the early days of the war, a lot of Russians believed that what they were doing was right, because they were denazifying, allegedly. So in that sense, are they saying they're pro peace in the sense of they believe they're denazifying Ukraine? There's just there's a lot of ambiguity there, but no one says anything.
That is
No one,
interesting.
yeah,
That
no
is.
one's anything. No one's bringing up the fact that Atomic Heart, as far as I know, CD could probably correct me, but they're streaming on VK, which is a streaming service. In Russia, Belarus, I believe Moldova. I think they're
VK Play was, I think, it was called that they'll be available in the Russian and adjoining area, mainly there exclusively, and probably I think on Steam in other areas in Europe, for example, or in America.
yeah.
But
Which
yeah,
yeah, and it's just the waters are muddled really badly. I'm not gonna say they're 100% funded and they're 100% meant to be a propaganda machine. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I read and some questionable things that I've seen. Maybe they could be, they could not be. I don't know. But someone needs to talk about it, but no one is. It's all about Hog.
Yeah.
Which
In
does
any
bring
case,
up an
I could.
Oh, sorry. Which does bring up an interesting question, right? Like, what's the degree of separation you need before you feel comfortable with something, right? Like,
Yeah.
like what's the degree of separation necessary before you're like, okay, this doesn't look great, but it's separated enough from the thing I don't like that I don't feel like I'm contributing to it.
Yeah.
Right?
And I know we're kind of moved on from Hogwarts, but like I just want to say,
will we ever move on from Hogwarts?
Probably not.
Will we ever move on from that? I don't think we will.
But like, the only thing that connects to J.K. Rowling is the IP. This is the developer's vision. They're the ones who put in the trans characters and all that.
Yeah, because they're not even covering the same time frame as the books.
Yeah. So, I mean, cool. But not to say a word about Atomic Hearts feels kind of weird.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we?
Some sites have covered it, but not much from what I've seen. And people in general have not been saying much about it either.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I forgot the game even existed till Maximilian did a...
Same for me.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot it existed till Maximilian did that trailer watch of a trailer for just a few days ago. I forgot the game even fucking existed until then.
Yeah.
Well, they see what the thing that I hear a lot is it's like BioShock. And that's like what everyone's saying. You know, that's a big selling point. It's BioShock. But it's like, okay, you know, it reminds you of a beloved game. Why don't you go for Kevin Levine's actual project that is basically BioShock, which is called Judas? Go for. As far as I know, there's no ties, alleged ties, to Russian anything. There's
the other question, obviously, is also, since they are a Russian-based developer, I think from Cyprus, it's also a bit difficult to say how much they are connected or if they're not.
Yes.
Just due to that. And one thing that could be factoring into their statement is, well, they haven't exactly been, very lenient to people that were protesting in Moscow, for example. So
I've heard.
We don't really know how much that plays a factor in it. If they're on that side, or if it's fear from retaliation by the official sides. So it's in any case, I think they are stuck in between a rock and a hard place.
Oh, yeah, that's for
In
sure.
as the developer of the game, even if it's good or bad, the game when it comes out, that's just gonna be one of the aspects, and obviously them being from there will taint the whole thing altogether.
Which I think is wrong. I mean, I don't think the Russian people are, thirsty. I think they're just, they live in the country, they're Russian, and they're at the mercy of a leader that's
Yeah.
a little power hungry. But the Russians themselves, they're good people, as far as I know.
Yeah, you can't really judge them overall. For
Yeah.
one, because the leader sometimes does bad things, especially in a case like this. And obviously they also have their way with propaganda and stuff there. So some people might be convinced about what they're doing is good. Some people might not be. Some people might fear that it's to speak up about it and all that stuff. So yeah, it's it's a really difficult topic there.
Yeah, and I did do some research after I actually had a talk with you, CD, on Discord, and it's it's bad. Like if you protest, like you get jumped by police, it's bad. I was not aware that it was that bad because I kind of disconnected because of my anxiety issues. Couldn't handle it, but and that's an argument you can make for Mudfish, definitely. It's unfortunate, but it would be nice to see discussions.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah, like acknowledgement, generally speaking, because it really does feel like people pick
and choose.
Yeah, they pick. But like I said before, but with my same thing about the child labor, like people are gonna pick and choose what's important to them. We all, people by and large will accept certain things and will not accept others. There's a certain level of fucked upness that we can accept as a society, and unfortunately,
and it's also interesting because in regular political discussions, people did not have a problem with being outspoken either for Russia or against them. In this whole thing. So it's not that. That's not really the issue here, I think. People have been very outspoken about the whole thing. It's maybe those people don't think it's important because it's a game. I'm not sure.
I think it is because it's a game, but it reminds me of BioShock, like I mentioned.
Yeah, blinders will do that to you. Nostalgia fucks everybody up at least once in a while.
If people are like, "Oh, wait, I want to play that game. It looks cool," and then I guess because the game is, from what I understand, an alternate take on.
It's an alternate history, essentially.
Yeah, Soviet Union. They've won World War II, and there's a lot of close parallels to real life, and I think that works against them as well. So it's messy, to say the least.
It's quite.
Yeah, and I don't know where I stand with Atomic Heart. I'm kind of leaning towards just not playing the game. No matter what. And it's like the whole moral boycott thing. For me, it goes against my morals. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I wouldn't feel icky playing Atomic Heart with that possibility that, it's probably tied to Russia. It's probably funding the war. I don't know. So,
and you know what? That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You gotta make those type of choices. You gotta make for yourself. You can't always. It's not always clear cut what that line is. That line ain't always. There are some
It's
people
not
who
always
took
black and white, the whole thing.
yeah,
No,
yeah. Some people made the Blizzard thing a moral boycott. Personally, I don't.
Mhm.
Some people did make it a moral thing, and I'm like, you know what? More power to you.
Yeah.
For some people, it's understandable that it's more important to them than to others. And personally, I haven't really had a big interest in the game before, and now
You were also like
not
me.
that
You forgot
much.
it fucking existed. So
Yeah, for one that, but even before when I heard about it, I hadn't really checked into it, so I
Yeah.
didn't really know what it was about. And honestly, after seeing the gameplay overview, the thing I am mostly interested in is how well it will do in terms of the quality and all that, because that thing looks wildly ambitious.
Yeah.
yeah, it does.
No, yeah.
Yeah, it looks for a development team I've never heard
Mhm.
of.
Yeah, they've only made one VR title from what I've read.
Oh,
It was something Soviet Lunar Park or something, which
Oh,
I
that.
don't know if that was very extensive, but I can't imagine that being on anywhere near a level of this game.
Yeah. No.
So I I can only imagine pretty much. I don't know if this will crash and burn because they massively overestimated themselves, or if this will be a big hit because they really put their everything in it.
in any case, gentlemen, I'm gonna have to wrap up this week's episode. This has been one hell of an episode, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
One
Oh,
hell of
yeah.
an episode. As always, everybody, you can find our podcast on a variety of platforms ranging from Apple, Google, and even Spotify, and our YouTube channel, Turn-Based Cynics, where the video version of this show is available every single Sunday without fail, no matter what. At great
On thread of a shoe.
at great expense to my mental and physical well-being sometimes, but you know what? Fuck it, I get it done. We out here, we working. I hope you all have yourself a fantastic week. Play them video games, and
Amen.
don't let anybody bully you. Fuck that shit. Fuck a bully. I don't give a shit. All right, you want to play a video game? Play your fucking video game. That's all that matters. I don't give a shit. Until then, everybody, stay tuned, and we will see you all next week.
Sounds good. See
Oh,
you guys.
and before we end, Fernando,
Yo.
the prodigal son, has returned.
Yes.
It's fantastic to have
No.
you back.
Don't blow my head up.
It's fantastic to have you back. I was when I offered, I was super excited. I'm like, damn, it's gonna be like a blast from the past having you back, man. Thank you for coming back. Thank you
Thank
for
you for having.
for being here.
No, you know what? The thanks is all yours because
Oh, well,
what you're doing is you're doing great work. You took the podcast, you turned it into your own baby, and you guys did good. Really, I wish only the best for you guys.
oh, thank you.
Thank you.
It's been
No problem. I'll do what I can to help you guys, help promote you, whatever.
It's been a creative
And
creative
speaking of
endeavor.
promoting, do you want to promote yourself where people can contact you or, well, not contact, but find you, what you write, and what you do?
Oh, geez. Well, you can find me on Twitter at FerniWrites. You can find me at Way Too Many Games. I know,
You
right?
have way too many games. What?
I have way too many games, but I also write for way too many games.
Like you write too many reviews, or
Oh man,
I think that's the site name.
we have way too many games. We have way too many reviews, and we're popping off. I also write for
Cool.
Stack Up. If you want to head on over there, it's a military charity. They do good work. And that's about it, really. I'm on
Okay.
Instagram, but I don't really use it because I'm too old, apparently.
Mm.
I've reached that age. I'm 33, so I can't do
Bruh,
it.
wait, you too old. Yo, hold on a second. Yo, wait a minute. CD, do you hear what this man just said? Bro, I'm
Yes, I
30.
certainly did.
Bro, I'm 34. What does that say about me?
Whoa, 34. I'm 33. I'm going to be 34 next month.
Yeah, well, guess what?
I'm right on your coattail right.
Yeah, okay.
Guess what? I'm having a 4-1 here, so.
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
Also,
dear.
did I hear that right about that second one? Is it called Stack Up?
Yes, Stack Up.
What convinced you to call it one of the two games that were available for Rob the Robot?
Well, I didn't name it, so I'm not going to be the guy to answer that question. But I guess I don't know how people stack up. I don't know. Really, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure there are several reasons. It just seemed funny to me that there was that coincidence.
Actually, you know what? I didn't know about the game, so that's a new one. I'll bring it up. I'll ask him about it.
I mainly knew about it because of the AVGN episode about it.
In any case, everybody, hope you all have a fantastic week. We will see you all next time.
Peace.
All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. That is a wrap.
Sweet.
You know, that was... Gonna be honest with you. If I had known the Wizard game was going to cause so much trouble... Just saying.
Yeah.
Didn't count on a game about wizards being such a fucking problem. If I had known that, I probably would have planned the episode differently. But I
blows my fucking mind.
Yeah, I would have planned the episode differently. But again, you know, I'm again. Sometimes I follow this shit as it happens, and I'm like, oh, this is a train wreck. Oh, this is a train wreck in slow motion.
An entire stack of trains.
Yeah,
they're just stacking it up.
Yeah, really. Like, I'll be honest, man. I've had myself in this spot now with this show where I'm like, damn, some weeks this show would be popping off with the shit I get to talk about, shit I get to fucking do on this show. And some weeks I'm like, fuck, I gotta cover that shit now? God damn it. Ah. Anytime I had to follow up a Blizzard story with more Blizzard shit during that whole fucking thing, I was like, fuck, I gotta follow that shit up now? God damn it, Blizzard.
Yeah.
And like, you know,
that trash fire kept burning and burning and burning.
It's like that entire, like, we've had our fair share of like stories we've had to follow up on, which has been a treat to be able to follow up on like certain stories. And then it's also a bane of my existence when I have to follow up on certain fucking stories. Like anything related to Telltale. I don't look forward to stories with Telltale. Whenever I hear the words Telltale's returning, I'm like, wait, what?
What?
Because aren't we supposed to be getting a Wolf Among Us 2? Isn't that a thing? That's a thing, right?
Yep.
It's a thing.
That's a thing. So, you know, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, 2023. Whether I like it or not, I have to live with the knowledge of knowing that there'll be another Telltale-like game in existence. Before I let you go, Fernie, my dude, have you played Ryza? Atelier Ryza?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. You should. It's wholesome.
Is it?
Oh, it is.
It's okay.
It's a fantastic story. Like, I did a playthrough on my channel of it, and at every turn, like, the ending actually made me feel, like, emotional. Because it was... The way the game ends, it's it hit me hard because I used to move around a lot as a kid, so I didn't get to keep
Yeah.
my friends. And
Yeah,
that
yeah.
ending hit me kind of personally because I was like, oh, that sucks. And Ryza's like one of the only characters that's getting like 3 games dedicated to solely her.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and crazy.
Yeah, which is which is amazing to see that character's done so well that she's getting 3 separate games specifically just for that character.
And Koi
Hmm?
knows what with her. Koi Tecmo, they know what they're doing with her.
Oh, what, making her thick? Oh, absolutely.
Some of that promotional stuff that they have is, they know.
Yeah, they absolutely know. Look at her artwork from the first game to the second game and tell me they don't know.
Yeah, no, they know.
They absolutely know. There's no way they don't know. If they don't know, then I want someone on that staff on this show immediately to explain themselves.
Honestly, so I am in contact with Koi.
You need to let them know, like, listen,
Yeah.
Roman, listen. Listen.
No, the guy that I talked to, he knows.
Oh, he knows.
Like, he'll reference her thickness. Like, he knows.
I
So,
bet.
That's how I know. Like, this is purposeful. The whole marketing. That's
yeah, like it has to be. One of my
Does he
favorite.
start the conversation about let's talk about Atelier Ryza.
One of my favorite bits from Atelier Ryza, I haven't talked about this, is there is an extra section where every voice actor, every character's voice actor, well, at least the main characters, they all have their own bit where they talk about, or they thank the players, and they talk about their experiences voicing the character. Like every character does it. And boy, there are some standouts, like personality-wise, when you listen to them, they're just infectious. You know what I mean? You just start smiling ear to fucking ear when you hear them. Like Ryza, the girl who plays Ryza, mwah, she's wonderful. The girl who plays Lint, fucking fantastic. The guy who plays Tao, again, fucking fantastic. Mwah! They're all so infectious, my man. They're all wonderful. Every single one of them.
I can't wait.
There's a few
Which
of them
ones, the Japanese ones or the English ones or both?
Japanese ones.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't think none of the games are English.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they're all
The ones.
Japanese subs, which probably for the best.
Right.
I've seen how some of these games get voice acted. We've seen some earlier NIS titles that got voice acted.
The early. There's been some painful ones, for sure.
Yeah, we've heard them. So,
have you played Time and Eternity?
I have not.
Okay, that voice acting. It's bad. There's
Guided Fate Paradox got a little grating too, if I recall. I know
played it.
That one got a little on the grating side. I ended up turning that one to Japanese pretty fucking fast. I don't usually go for like Japanese with subs, but Ryza, I don't have much of a choice. And when you're doing what I do, like Let's Playing and stuff, that's actually harder to kind of maintain a flow for the playthrough, because you're essentially just kind of letting the game play itself out, and you don't really have much. You can't say anything until they're done because it's in Japanese. So it's like, okay, well, guess I'll let this play out. But then there are some moments where the characters will say or like do some shit, and I'm like, you did not really just suggest that, did you? There was a great moment. It's not even like a huge story moment. It involves Ryza helping out fishermen by making really, really powerful bait. Like fishing bait, and it starts to cause trouble ecologically, right?
Too strong.
Yeah, it's too strong. And I bring this up, and I'm like, Ryza, maybe we should really think this through. The ecological damage you are about to cause by giving these people the bait you're giving them is going to cause damage for an unforeseeable amount of time. Never mind the fact that you're gonna fuck up the ecosystem just by it fucking existing. And if, by some chance, these fish now become addicted to your bait, we're gonna have even bigger problems. This is a terrible idea. And then she has the nerve to acknowledge it. She acknowledges the potential ecological problems as she is just blatantly creating. Never mind the fact that if you create certain items, there's a cutscene where she creates them. And the thing about alchemy that never gets explained is how much control the person has over what they pull out the pot when they make it, right? So sometimes you get the idea she knows what she's gonna pull out the pot. But then sometimes when I created the mallet, she pulls the mallet out the pot and she is genuinely fucking surprised that 1, it's a mallet, and 2, that it's fucking huge. Which tells me that alchemy is like 1/2 science.
Does have a bit of a random element to it.
1/2 science, 1/2 rolling a fucking dice and hoping the pot doesn't explode and blow your face off.
Pretty much. Yep.
Because she is legitimately surprised and shocked by the fact that she just pulled a mallet out of this thing, and by the fact that the mallet is huge. And I'm like, bitch, we made this. We did this. You should know what you were creating. Again, look, maybe I think too hard about video games. That's on me. I admit that. That's entirely on me. I'm at fault here. All right? Me. Not you. Not Koei Tecmo. Me. I'm at fault. But it's not my fault that they made the game so compelling. That's them. They messed up.
It's their fault.
Yeah, they messed up. Anyways, I'm going to go get myself lunch. Or, I guess, second lunch at this point.
So you're a hobbit now.
Yeah. There's breakfast, lunch, second lunch,
breakfast,
dinner. I'm still hungry, so I'm just going to eat
after
again.
Dinner snack.
After dinner snack, dessert pre-diabetes. You know, it's a process.
I relate. 100% relate.
Anyways, thank you for being here, Fernando. It's been a blast, my man.
Fun.
Don't ever be a stranger, ever, for real. Never be a stranger.
I'll be on.
All right, don't ever be a stranger. Have a nice night, guys.
Yeah.
Have a nice night.